The frantic voice on the 911 call would later be played in court as part of the evidence against her. "Someone has changed the locks on community property," she screeched, standing on my front porch as if it were her personal stage. "I demand immediate police response." What HOA President Linda Garrison didn't know was that I was listening just behind the curtain and dialing a very different number, one that would unravel her entire fantasy of control. 3 weeks earlier, I bought the old Henderson place, a fixer-upper sitting neatly at the edge of Sunset Meadows, just outside the HOA's official territory. It needed serious work, which is why I'd gotten it cheap. What I didn't expect was to inherit a self-important tyrant along with it. That Tuesday, I was painting the living room when Linda marched up like a commander in a power suit, holding what looked like a brass key in years of delusion. "Excuse me," she said with that ice-cold tone people usually reserve for unruly children or disobedient pets. "I'm here for the monthly inspection." I set down my roller, half amused, half annoyed. "This is private property, ma'am. Just bought it 3 weeks ago. I think you might be mistaken." Her smile barely flickered. "Young man, this home falls under Sunset Meadows, HOA. I am the HOA. We inspect all homes within our jurisdiction." She held up the key like a badge of honor. "This is our master key," I calmly replied. "I have all my closing documents right inside. This property is clearly outside your HOA boundary. The survey proves it." She didn't even blink. "I've been HOA president for 8 years. I know every home that belongs to us." Then she tried to jam that brass key into my lock. I stepped forward. "Ma'am, please back away. You do not have permission to enter." Her face turned an angry shade of red. "Do you know who I am?" I kept my tone level. "Linda Garrison, HOA President, and still not my landlord." Her finger jabbed the air. "You'll be hearing from our attorneys. No one defies the HOA." She spun on her heels and stormed off like she expected applause. I genuinely thought it would end there. But with people like her, the show is never over after just one act. A few hours later, I saw her Lexus parked outside again. She was back this time, aggressively twisting the key in my lock, as if sheer willpower would force it open. I opened the door before she broke something. "You changed the locks," she shouted, eyes wild with fury. "That's a violation of HOA bylaws," I sighed. "Again, not your jurisdiction. These are the same locks that were on the house when I bought it." She wasn't listening. "This key has opened that door for years. The previous owner gave us access." I reminded her gently. "He lost the home in foreclosure. That access ended the day the bank took over." That's when she pulled out her phone like it was a sword. "Fine. You want to play this game? I'll call the cops." She dialed 911, voice dripping with false concern. "Yes, hello. I'm the HOA president. A squatter's broken into one of our properties. He's changed the locks and is refusing to leave. He seems unstable." I stepped back inside, letting her play her role. She didn't realize I had my own line to the real world. "Sarah Martinez, county dispatcher, and a friend since high school." "Hey Sarah, it's David Morrison. I think Linda Garrison just reported me as a squatter at my new home." "Let me guess, white Lexus? Blonde hair that doesn't move." "That's her. Got it. Give me a second." I heard her typing. "You're right, your property sits outside the HOA boundary. In fact, it's never been part of any HOA. She's got this master key and thinks that gives her rights." Sarah's voice hardened. "She's calling in right now." "Yep, claiming you're a squatter. Don't worry. Officers Johnson and Pike are en route. I'll make sure they know everything." "Thanks, Sarah. I've got my deed and survey ready." "And David, install cameras. You're gonna need them." When I stepped back out, Linda was standing at the edge of my driveway, arms crossed like she'd already won. She didn't know her little play had been upstaged. 10 minutes later, to patrol. Cars rolled up. Linda practically leaped at them. "Officers. Thank goodness you're here. That man is illegally occupying an HOA home." But instead of confronting me, both officers walked straight to my porch. "Mr. Morrison?" "Officer Johnson called." "That's me," I said, holding up my documents. Linda looked stunned. "Why are you talking to him? He's the squatter." Officer Pike calmly turned to her. "Ma'am, step back while we assess the situation." "But I'm the HOA President." "We're aware," Officer Johnson replied. "Please step back." I handed over the documents, explained the situation calmly and factually. Officer Johnson studied the survey. Clear as day. "This parcel ends here," he said, pointing. "HOA jurisdiction starts down the road." "That's impossible," Linda snapped. "I have a master key." "The previous owner. Do you have any legal documents showing HOA authority over this?" "Address?" Officer Pike asked. "I don't need paperwork. I've been president for 8 years. Why would I have a key if it wasn't ours?" "Having a key doesn't equal ownership," Officer Johnson said flatly. "You were told to leave by the legal owner. You're trespassing. And your 911 call? That's a false report." Linda's smugness drained away as fast as the blood from her face. I didn't mean," she stammered. "You can either leave with a formal warning," Officer Pike added, "or be arrested for trespassing and misuse of emergency services. This is outrageous. Do you have any idea who I am? I run this neighborhood." "Sounds like a threat," Officer Pike said, pulling out his citation pad. "I advise you to leave immediately." Clutching her useless key, Linda spat. "This isn't over. The HOA will prove this home falls under our rules." "You're welcome to try," I said evenly. "But until then, stay off my property." The officers watched as she climbed into her Lexus and screeched off like she was making a getaway. "Call us if she returns," Officer Johnson said. "We've got this on record." "I appreciate it." Johnson leaned in slightly. "Between U.S., she's been a problem for a while. Thinks she's the sheriff of the suburbs." After they left, I locked my door with my key, the only one that mattered. 3 days later, an envelope from the HOA showed up. But instead of a lawsuit, it was a formal acknowledgement. After reviewing property records, the board confirmed my home sat outside their territory. I had it framed and hung it next to the door, but karma wasn't done with Linda. At the next HOA meeting, the community turned on her. One homeowner after another demanded to know how often she'd overstepped, how many locks she'd tried with that master key. The vote to remove her was unanimous. Her reign ended not with applause, but with silence, just the shuffle of people standing up and walking out as she sat frozen. Dethroned. The audit revealed she'd misused over $15,000 in HOA funds, racked up state violations, and falsified maintenance reports. 6 months later, a judge ordered her to pay full restitution, plus legal fees. As the verdict was read, her shoulders slumped. Her title meant nothing now. Her key unlocked nothing. Her power, like her lies, had finally run out. And I kept painting, kept renovating, kept living, free from her rule and backed by the law.